This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for Wednesday, January 8th, 2024. I'm Marek Mazurek. In an effort to make up the gap on Chinese competitors in the electric vehicle market, Honda and Nissan are engaged in talks on a potential merger that would create the third largest automaker in the world. But what would a merger between two giant Japanese car makers mean for Indiana, where Honda has a 1.3 million square foot plant in Greensburg? Amaru Owasi is a professor of operations and supply chain management at Indiana University and also serves as the executive director of the IU Business Sustainability and Innovation Lab. He predicts the proposed merger wouldn't change much about Honda's operation in Indiana.
If it was a Nissan facility that was here, I would tell you, okay, we should be concerned about what's going to happen to it. But the Honda facility here, nothing's going to happen to it. There's a small probability that actually might grow a little bit.
Nissan has two facilities in Tennessee and one in Mississippi. Representatives from Honda did not respond to interview requests from Inside Indiana Business. The company's website says the Greensburg facility employs 2,500 workers since starting production in 2008. Indianapolis-based Keystone Cooperative, Inc. said this week it will pay out $67 million in shared earnings with farmer members. The Agriculture and Energy Cooperative, which was established last year from the merger between Co-Alliance Cooperative and Seri Solutions, says the patronage represents 57% of Keystone's 2024 net income. Keystone says members will receive between 80 to 90% of their patronage payment in cash based on their legacy membership. The remainder will go toward their equity in Keystone. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
To succeed, you need to stay informed. You need to be engaged. And let's face it, you need to set yourself apart from the rest by connecting with a company that brings you the best. Because in today's environment, business is an ever-moving target, and we'll help you chase it. IBJ Media. The best of business is in us. Get started at ibjmedia.com/youngprofessional.
Stellar Technology Services, Inc., an Indianapolis-based startup that helps clients incorporate AI into their operations, has closed on a $2.7 million round of seed funding. Indianapolis-based Ground Game Ventures led the round with help from Indianapolis-based Elevate Ventures. The funding round was announced by Stellar last week and closed late last year. Stellar launched in February of 2023, and it designs and builds solutions to help clients integrate generative AI, large language models, and machine learning into their operations. It also helps clients assess their readiness for AI and identify ways in which they might best use the new technology. The company serves both businesses and nonprofit clients and now has 12 employees, in addition to about 15 contract workers. A new, quietly released study showed that small nuclear reactors could present substantial opportunities for Indiana to meet its energy demands, and identified 8 current or former coal sites around the state which could serve as coal-to-nuclear opportunities. Purdue officials announced in May that the university was selected to study small nuclear technology and how it could potentially be used to power Indiana in the future. In the state-funded report released by the Indiana Office of Energy Development in November, researchers lauded small modular reactors as 24/7 dispatchable sources of carbon-free electricity that have the capacity to meet the state's growing energy needs. Researchers say that small reactors can offer, quote, scalable energy solutions with, quote, enhanced safety features compared to traditional nuclear plants. The Indianapolis Public Schools Board is strongly opposing a bill that would dissolve the district and force it to convert to charter schools, a proposal that has spurred calls for an organized campaign against it. The pushback against House Bill 1136 at the first meeting of the new school board on Tuesday comes as IPS faces the start of yet another legislative session Wednesday that could leave the district more financially strapped and struggling to stay alive. The bill is authored by North Liberty Representative Jake Teshka, a Republican. The bill would require Indiana districts to dissolve and transition into charter schools if more than half of the students living in the district boundary enroll in a school outside the district. Under the proposal, IPS would dissolve and 50 of its schools would convert to charters. 4 other school districts around the state, including Gary Community Schools, would also dissolve if the bill passed as written. Outgoing Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Marek Mazurek for Inside Indiana Business Radio On Demand.